Okay.
Well,
Uh,
like I said, there's a lot of stuff we talk about. People really don't hear what we have to say. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. So
yeah.
I mean,
But
yeah, we got the Zoom room. We're paying for them, so let's record.
sure.
And
So,
like I said, we got great people. We got great people that can take the videos, put them up.
yeah.
Um, Something's got to hit their hearts eventually.
Well,
So
and
did you like what I had to say yesterday on Beach's summit
yes,
meeting?
yes, that was incredible. I feel really bad that I missed it. It just flew out of my head. I don't know. Maybe there was some foreign entity that prevented me from attending. But yeah,
Well,
no,
no, I know that. I mean, that happens. That
yeah,
happens. But I mean, what's important is that you. So you're already awake, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
you're awake, and that's good. So the idea is to for us to meet new people, and that's what we're trying to do: meet new people, get them out there,
yeah,
and we'll go from there. It's the best we can do.
yeah, yeah,
We got Elizabeth
absolutely.
Seawald. We got Elizabeth Seawald coming in, troublemaker.
There is something. Some years back, I've been involved in a couple of multi-level marketing companies, and there's a certain amount of brainwashing that goes on there, but there's a certain amount of truth, and it's in the presentation of ideas, wherein if I present something, somebody may get it and somebody else may not get it, but somebody else presenting exactly the same thing, there will be a different group getting it. It's almost like hearing it from this person is less impactful when rather than hearing exactly the same thing from another person. So if you say something, and I say something, and Dwight says something, and it's the same thing, eventually a person who's listening to all of these will ultimately, be able to learn it, learn from
I
it,
agree
and,
100%. Each
and benefit
person.
from it. Yeah.
I mean, I'm more direct now. I used to be more polite, but now I'm more direct because I understand that the seriousness of our issues.
Yeah.
And like I said yesterday, it's us. We got to wake people up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Show them that there's a plan, there's an idea, there's a concept, there's actually a solution,
Yes. Yeah. And the first
and they
time,
need to understand that.
yeah,
Yeah,
and the first time in 30 years that I've actually seen the solution. That wasn't being presented by a preacher, like a priest or a rabbi or anything, who's saying God's going to do this, God's going to do that, and really, it could be that it's God, but it could be God through us. So for us to do nothing is the biggest mistake.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree. Like I said, we're talking about all types of different things that's going on, and like I said, it was I mentioned it, and the hijacking of all the solutions, all the speakers not allowed to talk, no free voice, no free speech, and detrimentally, this is the most harmful thing.
Absolutely.
They control the narrative. They got you going in circles.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
keep saying this to everybody. 60,000 doctors said vaccinations are poisonous. Wow.
Correct.
Let's go
Yeah.
back to 1981.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
AIDS epidemic. 1980, AIDS epidemic. 79. Okay. Then we had the polio vaccinations, which were proven 100% experimental to actually cause more harm. Nobody needs a vaccination.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Well, that's
Our
that's
bodies were
yeah.
created to heal. And yes, if it wasn't for all the toxic foods, the poisons, etc., incompetence, our mortality would be very large. I saw a nurse 2 days ago. She was crying. I watched her video. She lost her job, her career, her life, her future, her prosperity, speaking up. And she parked her car and she was going to commit suicide. She did a live video, but 4 or 5 people found her right away.
Good.
Thank God.
Yeah.
So when you hear these stories of desperation, and we're all going to go through certain things, right? And we'll all go through pain, suffering, knowing what's right and what's wrong, and knowing how to change it. And you get parasites that are there to collect donations, or parasites that just do nothing but disrupt, create chaos, and they don't give you any type of idea, no grouping, no organization. We're all going to get together. We're all going to sit down. We've got 7,000 people here today in Toronto. 7,000 of us. We have a job. Our job is to save our future. How do we do that? We stop talking about bullshit and we get it done. They don't do that. Same bullshit over and over and over. You know, even the crap this morning from that girl from Atlanta, Canada. You know, another. I said I was going to show you a video, but after watching it for 5 minutes, I gave up because you are part of the problem again. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Hope your children have a good future under your ridiculousness of stupidity. The problem is the system, no accountability. If they can't see that, then we lose.
Yeah.
And you keep, I mean, how many, you know, it's like vaccinations.
Yeah.
You know, I told you a story about that Italian guy I worked with, and I published it in North America. He published it in Italy. He got 20 years in prison. 20 years. And I said, don't publish it there.
No.
And you don't publish documents. You go through anonymous.
Right.
Then again, anonymous has been hijacked too. So, you know, it's like you got to be careful. You're fighting an entity that's very, 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 very strong, very, very wise, very, very educated, and sociopaths and schizophrenia. That's what you're dealing with. They have no compassion or no empathy for anything. They don't care. I mean, they kill each other off too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
Proven it. So, I mean, and we're sitting here going, oh, we want to talk about vaccination campaign. Oh, we want you to donate to Kevin J. Johnson, walk around and scream and cause problems for businesses. And these are my rights. It's the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. You have no rights. You've never had any rights. So you're a liar. And then you get the Constitutional Convention, Walker Galati, I'm a constitutional lawyer. There's no fucking constitution. You're a liar.
Yeah.
Start at the beginning. If they can't even say there's no constitution, then they're liars.
They're playing in the same game. They're playing in the same game. Yeah. I had an argument with a woman, the wife of a friend. She was in the education system, right? And you know, I was saying that that the education system is unworthy. It's unworthy, right? She said, well, yeah. She's trying to say, well, yeah, but education is everyone should have education. What are you talking about? I said, it's the system. It's not the education. A kid, give a kid a computer. He's going to learn a lot more than he's going to ever learn in school, right? What you learn in school is how to line up and that kind of thing, you know, and whatever other liberal watered down bullshit that they're deciding to feed people nowadays. You know, people will educate themselves.
Mike, yeah. We can use words like liberal.
Yeah.
Okay. The right is also liberal. They have an ideology on the right side. They've been impounded patriotism. Love your flag. Love your country. Fight for your country.
You're right. It's just the other side of the same coin.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
There's no equilibrium.
Yeah.
See, you know, like I said, I'm trying to focus on myself now.
Yeah.
And try to figure out the path I have to take next. And that path is what do I do to save my children and my grandchildren? Right. Both my grandchildren are gone now. We know this. Yeah, Patience and Jasmine were injected in school without the consent. That fucking pissed me right off.
Well, that should be well, I mean, what are you gonna do? Take them to court?
So I mean, so they got bored sitting at home, not doing anything, and I tell them to stay at home anyways. Don't worry about it. You don't have to go to school. But they got bored. They want to go see their friends. They want to go play in the swing sets. They're like 9 and 12 years old.
Sure.
So we went to school, and guess what happened?
Yeah.
They got the COVID. Wow, without consent. So we already know they're finished.
It's almost like all of these things, from the mask and the misinformation and this kind of thing of, you know, not getting consent for so on. It's almost like they're the forces that are showing off. Like, look what we can do, and there's nothing you can do about it.
There's nothing. Literally, there's like, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I fought the law for other people in my life. And I got turmoiled, destroyed. but I knew it was right.
Yeah, right.
And guess what? I'm just one man.
Yeah.
And one man's not going to be able to do it. That's why I need thousands and 10,000 speakers. And I need them all standing side by side saying we've had enough.
Yeah.
But we'll walk down the street going, end the lockdown. And the lockdown only a symptom of the problem.
Correct.
It's the currency. They're killing us with the currency.
Correct.
They're going to starve us by the currency.
Correct.
Until we, the people, understand we have to love each other, coming together.
Yeah.
The last 5 projects I've been on, some good, some bad. But I watched how these people's lives were destroyed. They got no money they got no money to pay their taxes. They got no money to pay for their mortgages. They got no money for gas. And guess what they do? They sell you out for a paycheck just to survive longer. It's, to me, it's just like, wow, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Well, there's been so much effort to have people not trust each other.
Well, people go to the easiest route, Mike.
Sure. That's right.
And they always will.
Yeah.
And they always will. So that's where we're at in the system. And, I look back when I was fighting for the wildlife in British Columbia back in 1980s and 90s. I saw it coming. I said, why are we putting LEH out to shoot cows and calves? Without cows and calves, we've got no elk. Well, they're overpopulated.
Oh,
bullshit, I said. Oh, how can they overpopulate?
Let's stop killing the wolves.
Well, no, that's all a bunch of bullshit too. Propaganda of wolves. Ungulates increase, wolves increase, and I hear all the stories. There's 30 wolves. There's this and this and this. It's all bullshit. Wolves, the females will not produce pups, but they haven't got enough food. So she'll maybe only have 2 pups. That's it. The average wolf is, like I said, maximum 6 to 10 in a pack. And I hear all these bullshit stories, and I go, you guys just haven't got a clue what's going on. Yeah. And then the reintroduction and all the crap they put into Yellowstone National Park yesterday too, right? I remember that. Here's an example. In 1980, we transported 200 elk from the Kootenays to Saskatchewan because Saskatchewan elk herds were decimated, right? Within 5 years, they had 5,600 elk. Okay? Because most cow elk have 2 offspring,
right?
Possibly 3. And if they have, plenty of land, they graze, and they are grazers. The Kootenai elk actually are prairie elk. The only reason the Kootenai elk were left is because they got pushed into the mountains to hide because they're being decimated.
Right.
So they survived. They became the Rocky Mountain elk. There was 4 different types of elk. We have the Roosevelt, which come from the West Kootenays, which are just huge. I mean, they're huge animals. Then we have the Shiras moose and the Canadian moose or the Alaskan moose. What do you want to call it? There's only 2 types of moose in the world. The Shiras moose is very, very tiny. And it tastes like shit. The Canadian moose is a swampland moose, and its vegetation is very much different. When you eat them, it's like, wow, they're fantastic. And I've killed all these species in my time. Mule deer, the same thing. Mule deer are territorial; they won't move. An elk, same thing. They're very territorial. The young bulls will move. They'll be pushed out because they want to find a mate. Okay. So they'll be pushed out. They could go from here to Montana, to Idaho, but their genetics is the local area. This is what they survived on, so they can't go any further. The Sierra moose, Sierra elk, they're totally different in Arizona, totally different. Then you get your Colorado moose, which are Rocky Mountain elk.
Oh.
And the transplant, they are. They got pushed into the mountains too. Their genetics. We tagged one of them. He went 1,500 miles.
Wow.
Looking for a mate during the rut season, right?
Yeah.
And Genghis Khan also said this. He forbid everybody to hunt during the rutting season.
Yeah.
He forbid it. You don't hunt them during the rutting season, and you don't hunt them during their calving season. They need little or no pressure, and then December, January, you hunt them. They've done their job. The animals are flourished. They have maximum rate of pregnancy, and then you hunt them, right? Yeah, but here, no, not here. Fuck no, we need big racks. We got to go out there, have the excitement hunting during the rut, and kill them off during the rut. They teach people this and the mythology for trophy hunting. You know, Colorado. I was working with Valerie Geist and Harry Haju, and I went through all the stuff that I'm not an ungulate specialist as they are. They've got way more experience than me, but I sent them the data, and Harry sent me a letter back, says you must use this as goddamn aspect. I said, really? I said, seriously, this is garbage. Whoever done this data is full of shit. And Harry was straightforward. I contacted Valerie Geist, and Valerie Geist says, well, yep, he's pretty well right on the numbers there. And I said, so what are we going to do to bring our herds back? He said, 5-year ban on hunting. Minimum 5 years, possibly longer. Secondly is all the farmers have taken all the land on the lower areas. So the winter ranges are gone. So in BC, you know, it could snow 15, 20, 30 feet. That's nothing. Seriously, the mountains here. So the elk move down into terrains of valleys where they can get the food. They'll eat bark, they'll eat porky, they'll eat whatever they can. They'll chew a tree apart to get the vitamins of the tree. That's their nature. But then we had all this, you know, clear cutting, leave logs everywhere, so the fucking animals have to walk through a minefield of trees, broken branches, break their ankles. You know, when you're struggling through 6 feet of snow, the mule deer don't come off. The mule deer, I'll tell you, I know this for a fact. The mule deer don't come off the hill until the snow hits their nuts. They'll stay up as long as possible, and they're very territorial, and they have a hard time surviving. They're very, very structured to stay together, and you know, I studied them for years. That was my job, right? And but you tell people this, and they don't understand. You can go to these meetings. You know, when you got the guide outfitters, they're all controlled by the globalists.
Yeah.
And I actually brought a paper and it says, so it says by the law, the Act of the British Columbia Law Act here is on hunting. If any animal goes onto LEH, the only person that's eligible to possess a tag for that animal has to be a BC citizen and has to be born in British Columbia. That's your own act, your law.
Wow.
Well, we still got to conform to the guides. I said, no, it's a law. You're breaking the law. So if you're going to put them on LEH, only a BC resident born British Columbian can hunt that species until the species comes back. Well, that's what it says, but we're not going to follow that. And I knew right then. I said, you fuckers are just nothing but criminals. By the way, if we have to put our animals to LEH, limited hunting them because the species is being destroyed, well, maybe we should look at it differently. We stop hunting them. We transplanted turkeys throughout the Kootenays, all through North America, all through the States, and everything, because we had the last species of the turkeys. So guess what happened to them? Same thing. You know, here, you don't hunt your hens during mating season.
Yeah.
The gobblers, you leave the gobblers alone. They have a job. Every single one of them will have 12 to 13 chicks, but not us. Fuck, we'll hammer them down. Hammer them down during the mating season. It's like grouse. You know, they allowed us to have 21 white grouse. And I went in there and said, you know, I haven't seen a white grouse in 15 years. He said, I know they're extinct. So why the fuck are they in the regulations?
Amazing.
So I just look at them going, so, you know, we went up north and we found some white grouse. And we found them. I thought, okay, this is good. And I thought, what we should be doing is capturing these, bring them in, get them laying eggs, massive production, safety net, and bring them back. No, couldn't do that. Couldn't do that. No, you know, here the grizzly. Hey, oh, come on in. Oh, he's eating. So I mean, I was an ungulate specialist and many other specialists. Trust me.
Well,
So,
interesting, Dallas, is that I believe that the average Canadian thinks that the wildlife management organizations of the government arms are actually supposed to be doing that. That they're actually, controlling hunting regulations. That they're
No,
actually
they're
controlling.
horrible.
But
I got, I
that's
got
amazing.
three. I got three of them mailed. There was Bob Forbes and Rick DeMarche and another parasite. I forget his name in a second. So I concentrated on them for about 5 years hard. And I proved without a doubt they're fraud. They brought a guy named Ken Radecki in, and they posed him off as an elk expert, ungulate specialist. So I went and read his thesis. The guy studied in South America. He's never seen an elk in his life. He's never done a study on elk or anything, or a mule deer or a whitetail from North America. And they possessed him they pushed him out as a elk expert, ungulate specialist.
Wow.
So I published what he studied. It was llamas and some other shit in South America. And his theses never even became theses. They were just studies.
Yeah.
So when I was working on the Starkey experiment, which was a 20-year project, I went and I read the Starkey experiment over and over. Some stuff I couldn't figure out. So I contacted, other ungulate specialists, and they explained to me what this meant and what this meant here. Because I can't read this raw data. So this is not my expertise. If I studied, I could, yes, probably maybe 3 to 5 years to understand what they're doing. But why waste my time 3 to 5 years studying the stuff? It was better just for me to look at these specialists. And then I went to one specialist, second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one. And I made sure none of them knew that I was contacting them. They kept it quietly. Oh. So I'd send them questions and they'd come back with questions. And I'd send them back, and it was like that for about 5 years. And then I built up, okay, this guy I could trust. This guy's got some brains. So these three are saying the same thing. And then when I went and seen Valerie, I said, Valerie, tell me right now, what do you think's happening? She says, they're killing all the herds off. So I went to Porcupine Herd up in with White Goose. It was 370,000 caribou. They're down to 70,000. These are astronomical numbers.
Yes.
These are huge numbers.
Yes.
And our fly times, well, what was Ray, what the hell's his name? He's a wildlife photographer. He does books. Come here, Ray Wilson. So I got a hold of him. I said, you're up 25,000 hours with helicopters during the fall and winter months, right? And he said, yeah. What's happening? The herd's being wiped out, man. And no one's listening. It's in my book, but no one's listening. So we got a big storm moving in, man. It's been like 2 days now. You should see the weather here, man. It's nasty. We haven't seen sunshine. The chemtrails have been nonstop. And I'm out in the middle. I'm out in the middle of the bush. Out in the middle of nowhere. So
yeah. If you're in the middle of nowhere, why would they be spraying over you? I thought it was just for populations.
They're spraying everywhere. This is like I said, I was just do some videos, but I don't want to do that because I give my location away, so I'm not doing that.
I get it.
Yeah, they don't like me that much, Mike.
Yeah. Well, that's just all the more reason for me to do so.
Back in a second, I have to go to the washroom.
Okay. Yeah, what I was saying earlier, Beatrice, when I was talking about growing up and having the Lord's Prayer in school and God Save the Queen and that kind of thing, which seemed to be, at that time, it seemed to me to be a huge dichotomy right off the bat, right? Here I'm doing the Lord's Prayer and I'm, praying to or singing to the crown. It's like, wait a minute, what's going on here? But the Christian religion, the basis of it is that there exists a savior who's going to come in at the last moment and save us. And I still believe that there is an aspect of that is ready to occur, but it seemed that it was all being systematically removed from the school system, from everyday life. People talking about the Christian religion just on the street, and they become vilified. It's almost like being targeted and such. now we've had a replacement for the savior in the form of Bill Gates, who's going to save us all from this invisible monster and so on. And meanwhile, the invisible monster the entire time has been the Khazarian Zionists who want to take over the world and treat us all like chattel, treat us all like possessions. Get rid of most of us so they have that many more acres of land for themselves, that much more of the resources for themselves. It's actually a pretty amazing time that we live in. It's absolutely amazing time that we live in, and you know, some of it's regrettable, some of it's disheartening. You know, we were just talking with Dallas about you know, the wildlife herds and such, and it's absolutely amazing watching this stuff. But it will all come back. I believe that it's all going to come back, and I think that that's the thing that keeps me putting one foot in front of the other.
Okay, yep, sorry about that. Yep, I can hear you though.
Yeah,
It's like, you know, a lot of stuff I got to keep private right now, what I'm going through, right? But
sure.
I think most of the team already knows what I'm going through. So
Yeah, it's tough. You know, there's a force that's trying to shut down people who are working for
they
people.
literally destroyed my life.
Yeah.
I mean, I was strong all the time, right?
Yeah.
I knew my enemy, but I'll tell you, this last year is fucking
Yeah. Well,
anger my spirits.
Yeah. But we're in the climax of this war.
Well, I think most things is that my wife's struggling fundamentally with dementia right now because of shock of Melanie being raped and fucking pillaged and head caved in with a fucking hammer. Nothing left of her, right?
Oh Jesus.
So she's been in like turmoil for 5 months, and she's going forward, but she's not going forward.
Yeah.
They've cut her pensions off 14 months ago.
Wow.
So she can't get. Oh yeah. Oh, they're being fuckers. I mean, I'm hoping I get my pension. I don't know. I mean, all my pensions are being fucked around, like everybody else.
Yeah.
I don't want to say numbers. I know everybody else is getting harmed too, right?
Yeah.
You know, and you know, when I met with the detectives, you know, Constable Brenner said straight to us, she's resigning, she's quitting, she's done. She's done. And I could hear it in her voice. And 2 days later, I'm sitting going, you know, what fucking justice do we get?
Yeah.
She gave the list of the perpetrators that killed her through their investigation. I found out during the investigation, which she found out more that I didn't. We had some ideas, we didn't have concrete stuff, but she found out through her investigation it was planned, deliberately, intentionally done to kill her. And I got to sit there and do nothing. There's no justice. Follow me?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, one of the RCMP officers, you know, I don't know how he found me, but he found me anyways. So, but I parked in a fucking field, grabbed a case of beer, pack of cigarettes, or I had a carton actually. I just sat in my car, turned the fucking tunes on, out in the middle of a fucking field, mind my own fucking business, out in the middle of nowhere. He pulls in and he starts talking to me. And he goes, I need to see your driver's license, registration, you're drinking beer. And I said, I could give a flying fuck what you want. Seriously. And I'm not here to negotiate today, so fuck off. I've had enough. So I had to take a piss. So I got up, took a piss. He's looking at me going, fuck. Excuse me. I said, no, fuck, I had to take a piss. So I took a piss, walked back to the car. He got in his truck. He was in the truck for about 3 minutes. He came back, says, you have a good day, sir. No problem. Have a good day. Left.
Wow.
They're not stupid.
Yeah.
They radioed in and go, well, That's life.
Yeah. Well, I know that they know what's going on. I'd gotten a ticket for a handheld device. I had a phone up to my ear, and when the cop comes to ask me for my driver's license, I said, "Why would I want one of those?" So then it's out of the car, handcuffs in the back of his car, and I'm basically protesting, peacefully the whole time. I said, you stepping on what I'm supposed to have rights or whatever. I just kept going on. So I ended up with 2 tickets, one for handheld device, one for failure to produce a driver's license. I ultimately ended up in court, and I started arguing the handheld device, saying that I'd been driving professionally for years, and I've been driving for over 40 years. And I know how my actions are going to affect the other people around me. So for them to put me with a phone against my ear in the same category as some kid who's splitting lanes, looking down his lap at his cell phone, doesn't make any sense. And it's 2 different things. So they wouldn't let it go. I said, fine. So we started talking about the failure to produce a license, and basically I started talking about everything from the birth certificate name to the whole routine. I mean, you can imagine what it is. And ultimately, I said, so ultimately, when he asked me for my license, I was not willing to contract with this stranger who was carrying a gun. So I had that charge dropped. So just so you know, I mean, I gave the proper arguments and so on that indicated that I wasn't that person that they were presuming, because every time a cop pulls you over, he's pulling you over with a huge presumption attitude going in. So just the fact that I had that charge dropped. Of course, if I had done it the other way, if I had done it the other way around, I would have probably had the handheld device charge drop too.
Well, I did a radio show in co-op with Reginald Angus and Dennis Shaw and Ed Anderson, and it was really big. It was in Vancouver. They chased me and surrounded me, 12 cop cars, and I wouldn't get out. I kept driving until I went. There's like a big mall. Went to like a mall. I got in the mall, like 30, 40 people to see what's going on, right? So they let me go, and then 2012, I published another article. They sent an entire SWAT team down, and they were trying to find me, and they went banging on a few of my associates' doors. I was there, and my associates said, "No, we haven't seen him." They said, "No, we've been sitting here for 2 days. We saw him walk out earlier. He's in the house, and we will come in the house. So either you'll all be arrested. We want to talk to him." They had dogs, whole SWAT team, and I said, "Okay, I'm not gonna let my friends get harmed. I'll go out there and face them, right?" So I went and face them. I sat in the balcony for about 45 minutes to an hour. They handcuffed me. I said, "I'm not here to cause you any problems." And they said, "Well, we just want to make sure that you publish this document. Is this your document?" I said, "Yeah, that's my document." "So you admit this is your document that you published?" I said, "Yes, I published." You know I published. That's why you're here." So the 2 or 3 more guys show up, investigators, to read the document. And one investigator said to me, he says, "Well, everything on the document is actual factual. Everything you say is the truth, except for one thing. You made a threat in your document." I said, "Well, what was a threat?" And this line here, it says that when the people wake up, every missile, gun, pitchfork, shovel, hammer, every jet, every helicopter will be aimed at the Vatican and Washington, D.C. and Ottawa.
Makes sense to me.
That was my threat. So they arrested me on that, eh? That's how they got me.
Was that hate speech or something?
Well,
Wow.
yeah, but I look back at that day, right? I mean, the amount of manpower they went after me getting on that one, right? But now I see, I look at it differently now, right? There's so many people that are awake, so it's great because you get that protection, right? But the problem is we don't have a lot of people. There's people that are awake, but they're not really awake. they'll do the eradicate of the bullshit, George Soros. I said in 9/11, I produced a document. It actually was an AVI file. It was what the fuck was it called? I'll get in a second here. But the name of it, right? I produced that one was called Freedom 2007, Freedom 2012 or something. Yeah, Freedom 2012, and it put them all together. It was about an hour and a half documentary I put together, and I'm gonna tell you, it went viral. And the other one, we created an AVI file, so they couldn't take it off YouTube or anything like that, right? They finally got it. I got it backed up somewhere else, but I mean, so it proved without a doubt it was Mossad that took out the Twin Towers, the thermite nuclear bomb. We knew that within 3 days after it was done during our investigation, and we were all told to stand down. We were all told to stand down.
What, and of course, the justification for that is the saying that the first thing to fall in a war is the truth.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think the central theme throughout all of this stuff is the idea that we are at war. There is a war. Yeah, we are at war, and it's a war for our consciousness. It's a war for our belief systems, and this war has been going on since way before even the First World War. I don't think that there was a First World War and a Second World War. Those are just different names that they gave to the same war, which has been going on.
Yeah, they're all fictions, right?
Yeah, all fictions created to.
Well, the Balfour Declaration. You look back at the Balfour Declaration, and we published lots of that for years.
Yeah.
I look at Ken O'Keefe. Look at the damage they did to him, Special Forces, and he doesn't care. They've destroyed his life. This guy should be honored at the top of his level of a combat Special Forces, and they destroyed him for speaking the truth. I hear nothing of General Wesley. He's gone now too, so hear nothing of him anymore. I look at all these great patriots that stood out there trying to explain to what's going on, and they all get silenced or killed or murdered. You can say what you want to call it, but they get silenced, they get destroyed. You look at when they killed Bill Cooper, they shot him. Every intention with a sniper rifle. You look at Lavoie when they took him out with when we're doing the project with the Bundy Ranch. They shot his car 122 times with 3 children in the car. And he finally pulled the fucking car over. He said, they're going to kill. So he got out of the car and they fucking shot him with a sniper rifle. And they taped the whole fucking thing, but no one's in jail. No one's prosecuted. And they said he went for his gun. Well, you could see he put his hands in the air and then they shot him. He knew he was fucked. Then he went for his gun on his last resort. By that time, they already had 5 or 6 more rounds until he fell over in the snow. He shot his car 122 times with his children in the car. Plain, blatant murder. And guess what happens? Dickel, and that was through the Hillary Clinton Foundation doing they were moving high depleted uranium into Iran, set Iran up, right? It's like it goes on, and people, we want to stand and go, HUD's masks and fucking vaccinations. The bullshit.
Yeah. Distraction. But the kind of response that some of these guys are getting from the authorities trying to shut him up is not really a whole lot different than the kind of response that I would get if I'm trying to bring up some of these kinds of subjects in polite matter, when people are saying, "Oh, this is just a conspiracy theory. How can you prove it?" Well, you can't prove it if the information has been redacted, if the videos that prove it have been censored. And I ask people, and that's to me, that's one of the biggest things when people
are you
saying,
typing in the background?
I'm sorry?
Are you typing in the background?
Am I taping? No, somebody's recording here.
I hear typing. Tick, tick,
Oh,
tick,
tapping.
tick, 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 tick.
No.
It must be Beatrice, maybe. Beatrice, you typing?
No, her microphone's off. But what I'm seeing here is the only people talking here is you and me. I see 2 Elizabeths and a Beatrice up there.
Yeah, they got their meeting today, right?
Oh.
Today's Sunday, right?
Today's Sunday, yeah. So they're having a meeting for an integration peace officer. Is that what that's about?
I don't know exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I said yesterday, I was so impressed the way Elizabeth laid it out on the presentation about the Constitution.
Uh-huh.
It was very
Yes,
well.
it's I'll just interrupt you guys. Yes, it's at 3 o'clock Mountain Standard Time in about an hour and a half from now.
Right.
Oh, you're
Okay.
lucky. I'll tell you that right now. An hour and a half is a long time.
Not really.
Hey, it is.
Yeah, well, not really. No, it's all in a matter
got-
of how you look at it.
I tried getting hold of you this morning. I was on the phone you about 3 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't sleep.
Oh,
I
jeez.
thought, oh, I'm not getting any rest. I'm not getting any rest. And then I woke up and then but I said, fuck it, I'll put a movie on. So I watched 2 movies last night. First
Oh,
one,
wow.
I didn't really watch them. I just listened, right?
Mhm.
Just to distract my mind a little bit, right? And then the other one I put on, and I actually watched that movie. It was pretty good. I was watching it, and that was about 4:30. And I finally dozed off. And then I woke up every half an hour, like I always do. But huge storm today. Huge, and with not a cloud. It's all gray. I'm gonna take a picture. It's huge. Yeah. No
Hmm.
turkeys today. No turkey. I didn't see any turkeys today, so they must know that something's coming because they're probably bedding down.
Yeah,
One thing with animals, they got instinct, right?
yeah, they do.
Not like those humans. They got no instinct anymore.
True enough.
What a bastard I am, eh? I'll just say it the way it is. You know me. Like I said, I'm here to I was great. I was great at poker, eh? I could count the cards. I'd win all the time. I'd be in
Yep.
camp and I would take people's fucking money, but I give it back to them all the time, right? Because I mean, I knew what I was doing. Was just
Because you
cruel to
feel
them, right?
because you feel guilty.
Oh yeah. Eating that
Yeah.
crib. You count the cards in the crib.
Yeah.
You know it's been laid, what's played. So there's no 9s left. There's no 8s left. There's only 1 7 left. You just count the cards, right?
Yeah.
So you're gonna win if you count the cards. That's what they started introducing, 5, 6 decks into the card decks, right? That way there's too many cards, right? But you still count the cards.
A little harder with 5 or 6 decks, but
Well, it is, yeah, but I mean, if you pay attention to what's been led, right? So, but I mean, gambling is like gambling. It's a gamble, and you're going to lose. It's like Kenny Rogers said, how to go a train known for nowhere. Met up with a gambler, right? We're both too tired to sleep, right? Took turns staring at the window of the darkness. Boredom overtook us, and he began to speak. It's the son I made my life, right? And looking, learning, and listening, and that's the most important thing. And I listen to these people speak, and they say the same bullshit over and over. Same, you know, you know.
yeah. Oh, and you know what? You're absolutely right. And that comes to us from music. So many songs that are trying
Yeah.
to wake us up, trying to give us a better idea about what the reality is that's surrounding us. The movies and so on, all of them have a certain message in them that when heeded, you can benefit from. But so much of it is presented in such a way that the average person is just going to gloss over those important messages and just look at the eye candy or whatever it is, and it's not that it's not out there, but you have to know what you're looking for.
Well, I watched. There was it was Friday the 13th, and we went to a theater, right? Outdoor theater, right?
Yeah.
And it was triple X, and I can't remember the first movie. There was 3 movies anyways, and they put on the fucking Freddy Krueger, and they put on the
Jason.
And I went, yeah, some ridiculous thing anyways, right? I said, who wants to watch this shit? This is just garbage. Shitty actors, no plot. Guy running around with a fucking chainsaw, and everybody keeps fucking. No one's getting together, no unity. We're all running in different directions, getting killed off. That's not right.
Well,
And
maybe that's the message.
they made 13 movies of that.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm
But
thinking,
that's
how could you make 13 movies of that crap? And who would pay to go watch those movies at $3 or $5 a fucking movie?
right,
No,
but the message there is that everybody's getting killed because they're alone, right? You never see
Yeah.
any of these movies where you know, all the people stay in one room together, see the perpetrator, and gang up on him. You know, you might lose one or two people in the skirmish, but at least you'll end up eliminating the threat. It's like an eagle attacking a flock of chickens or something like that. Well, if all those chickens got together and attacked at the same time, that eagle wouldn't stand a chance. It's like, you know, and so that's the kind of lessons that we have to take from it. You know, we need the strength of numbers. It's the only way, is the strength of numbers. Yeah. I think
I agree. So like I said, we're looking at the strategy right now is bring all the patriots together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you know, I'll definitely do my part to contribute to that stuff. And I think what I might just do is take off for an hour and then come back and catch that 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time meeting, if
Sounds good.
that's suitable to you, Beatrice.
Yeah. So you got the link, right?
I don't know that. Oh yeah, I got the link. HTTP web Zoom 158855594. That's the one.
I have no idea. Beatrice, what's the link? Should have been an email to you, Mike.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check my email, but I'll make sure that I
No,
get back
you
in.
should find out.
Yes, this is the link. It's
Yeah, the one you got listed here on the on the chat. Yeah.
You better. Well, can you copy that link?
What I could do is yeah, I should write it down. Let me just go.
Well, no, don't write it down. Just get Beatrice to email it to you, so you have it.
by email, then you can enter directly from your email.
Yeah.
Okay.
That way you can pass it on to more of your family and friends that come in for training.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Beatrice and Dallas. There's a few eye-opening things there this afternoon. I always appreciate talking to you. I know you got more experience in the on the ground stuff, you know, than I have. But you know, we stay together and work towards that common goal.
100%. Okay, brother. Take care.
Okay. Talk to you soon.
Bye.